Welcome. This is the Ag Engineering Podcast, where we talk tools, tips, and techniques to improve the sustainability of your farm. I am your host, Andy Chamberlain from the University of Vermont Extension, and this podcast is supported by Northeast SARE, providing grants and education to advance innovation in sustainable agriculture. We're trying to improve the industry by chatting with farmers and getting their input on tools, tips, or techniques that have changed the way they farm for good. Many of these practices affect multiple areas of the farm. Whether it be environmentally, emotionally, physically, or financially, we share the knowledge to promote sustainable agriculture, lifestyle, and business. Thanks for having a listen. Now, let's get started. This episode comes to you from Granville, Vermont, where we meet with John Hirsch of Clearfield Farm. This interview was captured during a farm visit last summer, where John showed me how he constructed a DIY root washer for under $200. This machine was built using a Harbor Freight cement mixer, some 1x3 strapping, and carriage bolts. Designed for one-man operation, it washes baby roots with both speed and ease. You can see this washer in action on our YouTube channel or in the show notes at agengpodcast.com. The conversation starts out as we walk to the high tunnel to pick a few pounds of carrots to demo. So without any further delay, let's roll the reel.
We got some carrots in this tunnel over here.
Okay.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot going on. You know, for the most part, it's pretty low labor. It's mostly just me. I think I had 6 hours of help last week. So.
Well, that's not bad.
No. But we use a lot of plastic mulch, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, like a bed, like the rest of this carrot bed that's going back to clover. I'm not going to do anything about that. I'm just going to cover it.
Yeah.
Well, but yeah, here's the last little bit of spring planted carrots, and you can see they're going to seed and stuff.
Yep.
A couple of carrots in here, and then we'll go wash them. Because it works best if you wash them pretty soon after they're picked. Unless we can't get any out of the ground here. Like this size is kind of what that's built for. So they're just like, like a baby carrot size. So it has barely any gap between the slats, so it's perfect for this size, which is the size you really start to make money with when you're selling them to restaurants.
Restaurants like the babies?
They love the baby carrots, yeah. We've got the most of our farm is a Winooski fine silt loam. Some of it's Hadley, but most of it's Winooski, so it's nice, sandy, well draining. Usually things like carrots don't get caught in here, but here we are. And I try to get all of the top off. So like even that, anything coming out of it, I try to get off because that'll just start to rot in the cooler and then cause all kinds of problems. Small scale but mechanized, vegetable stuff, because that's the way I'm moving this business. I want to be doing most things, with machines. There's no labor around here, so I can't rely on anybody.
Yeah, I have the same mentality, and I think many other Vermont farmers do.
Yeah, although, I talk to a lot that are like, oh yeah, just throw a couple of guys at it, yeah.
Easier said than done.
Right, yeah. There's like maybe 1,000 people in this valley, and they all have jobs.
Yeah.
So why are they going to work for me for $13 an hour doing, backbreaking manual labor? Then they can go run a machine for $20 an hour.
Yep.
So you got to be realistic in this game. I'm John. I own Clearfield Farm. We're here in Granville, Vermont. We do about 8 or 10 acres of certified organic vegetables, a little bit of cut flowers. Today we're going to go over this baby root washer that I built. It's just a Harbor Freight cement mixer that my dad actually got at a yard sale for like 25 bucks, but I think retail they're about 150. I think I got one bundle of 1x3 strapping from the building supply down here in Hancock. So that was about 25 bucks for the bundle of it, which there was still some left over, I'm pretty sure, because these are only 3 feet long and I got 10 foot a 10-foot bundle of 1x3 strapping. This is a bike rim from Green Mountain Bikes, so that was free. I had to just pick it out of his basement. He's got a big pile of parts in his basement. And then these, I think, yeah, so I use carriage bolts for bolting the strapping to the cement mixer itself, because on the head side of a carriage bolt it's smooth, so it wasn't going to grind up any of the roots. And other than that, yeah, it's really only attached by those, and then it's kind of this rim just helps keep everything together. It's still set at the regular speed that a cement mixer would be. So here we can, it's, fairly quick. From what I understand, you can put a dimmer switch right here and crank it right down. I don't know enough about it to mess around with that, so I just run it as is, and it's been fine. We haven't had any damage that didn't last the winter with carrots, and in fact I just threw out our last 5 pounds of rainbow carrots from last October that we picked, that we washed through this, and we did I think about 2,000 pounds of roots through this at the end of last season. And that didn't count what we had been doing through the season, because we were selling baby carrots to restaurants long before October. But yeah, so I'm going to show you. We've got a little bucket of baby carrots right here. Some of them are baby, some of them are full grown, but it'll wash them all just the same. So I like to get a little station set up with a produce bin lifted off the ground some, and directly in line with how this is going to dump out. So one nice thing about using a cement mixer is that it already has this built-in feature where you can dump whatever you've got going in. You can dump it right out, so that really helps with you don't have to shut it off and get in there and scrape anything out, or get a tool to pull stuff out. This is already set up to do it the most efficient way possible. So what I like to do first is give the carrots that are in the bucket a little spritz, knock off some of the bigger clods. But we just picked these about a minute ago, so really the dirt hasn't dried yet, so everything should be ready to go. Okay, and we put it in here, and this can take, I do usually 50 pounds at a time. This might be 7 pounds. I'll give it a little spritz. And actually I leave this usually, I leave this going. Turn this on. So it's going to push everything to the back, because if you tip back some, I got these little dollar store bristles on there. Those are my scrubbers. And this, me spritzing it down, that's optional. I guess you could probably set up something if you were going to use this every week, but I only use it every week, so I don't even have it. So this is done, 7 pounds of carrots pretty quickly here. It will do a full 5-gallon bucket, which is 35 pounds, and then a little extra, which will bump us up to 50 pounds. It'll do that just as quick as it did this. And obviously I go a lot quicker when I'm not explaining it. So then the last thing I do is I start running it again after I'm sure there's no dirt stuck on anything. And I'm going to dump it into this produce right here. idea with this is when I dump it out, I want to have it set up just so that I'm not losing anything. So I lost one carrot here, which, you know, came out of the dirt anyway. Just wash it off again. But then I'm going to look through this and you know, pick out any carrots with bug damage or, you know, any abnormalities that may not hold up in storage. But that's it. You know, that you could have done in a minute by yourself, you know, not explaining it, but now we're left with carrots that are, you know, of nice quality. We can stick them in a let's see, like that's got a little bug damage, that one too. And then, you know, we can stick these in a bag and away they go. And that's pretty much it. So all in all, you know, this is an under $200 affair if you were to do this from scratch, and buying everything brand new. You don't have to buy everything new. I mean, there's not much that goes wrong with these cement mixers, and if it were to go wrong, it's, you know, it's $150 at Harbor Freight, and they're always giving out the 20% off coupons, so you know, 20% off 150 too. It's worked great for us. This is on year 3, and we've done nothing to it since I put it together. So this year we will be upgrading to a barrel washer because we're up to the, you know, 10,000-15,000 pounds of roots at the end of the season now. So we could certainly do it through this, but I want to have something that's going to be a little easier to wash that quantity with. If you had a really good system down and you had this thing set up permanently, and, you know, maybe you had like a bigger table for all the stuff to dump out on, yeah, you could be doing a lot. The only reason that we're moving to a barrel washer is that our account is for horse or chef grade carrots, you know, with a 2-inch shoulder, 1.5 to 2-inch shoulder, and this is really built for baby carrots. That's what this was built for. So we're into a different customer base, so they require something different. So now this doesn't work so well for us. But if you were only doing baby carrots, you know, you go from washing 100 pounds in an hour to 100 pounds in 10 minutes. So, you know, you do the math. You know, you're going to pay somebody, what, $12-15 an hour to wash roots. You know, in a couple of bins, they're going to shake them around, spray them, move them around by hand, shake them, throw them in this thing. You know, it does most of the work in 5 minutes. You're done. So I don't know. That was what made me want to build this. This is a pretty versatile tool for most farms that aren't doing, you know, a crazy amount of roots in a week. If you're doing a couple thousand pounds of roots a week, yeah, I would just get a barrel washer. But if you're doing, you know, 500 pounds, that's, you know, what, maybe an hour and a half in this thing. So really, it's not bad.
You can follow along with John at Clearfield Farm on both Facebook and Instagram, or check out his website at clearfieldfarmvt.com. Thanks for listening to today's episode. If you learned something today or plan to make a change on your farm, let me know. I'd love to receive any feedback you have. Just click the link in the description to submit the form. It will help the future of this podcast to be a resource that is helpful for you. And while you're at it, I hope you go ahead and subscribe, share this with a friend, or leave a comment. And if you want more information, check out the show notes on our website at agengpodcast.com. That's agengpodcast.com. Thanks for listening, and I hope you have a great day.
The proceeding has been a production of University of Vermont Extension. For more information on Extension, log on to www.uvm.edu/extension.